Botswana's education system is under scrutiny following the 2024 Bgcse results, where nearly 90% of candidates failed to meet the government's sponsorship threshold. Professor Richard Tabulawa, in his book Teaching and Learning in Context, argues that teacher-centered methods, rigid curricula, and systemic resistance to change are key barriers to progress in sub-Saharan Africa. Despite efforts to modernize education, rote learning or memorization technique based on repetition remains dominant. Limited resources and curriculum that struggles to meet modern demands. In studio, I'm joined by Professor Richard Tabulawa, acting Deputy Vice Chancellor, Teaching and Learning at the University of Botswana, to examine the root causes of this decline and explore solutions from reforming teaching approaches and how Botswana can break the cycle and improve student success. Good afternoon, Sam, and thank you for joining us, Professor.
No, thank you so much, Samuka.
All right.
And
now,
greetings to your viewers.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah. Now, let's start by understanding why are we having this much heated debate on the education sector in Botswana?
Ke tsa gore mo gongwe ke go tlhoka go tlhaloganya gore tota go iragala eng. Ga se gore bana ba faila. Nya gore ga ba kgona go to reach the 36 points cut off. Few have reached the 36 cut off point. Yeah, sponsor has nothing to do with the quality of education. Our sponsor is on a DTF. Ira cut off point ya bone. Ba lebele spatches a bone. Budget ya bone gore bana le bokae. What can they afford? And then baba determine okay, what will be the reasonable cut-off point. Mo e leng gore ha no ka tsa gore ngwa bana ba le 10,000 gompienana ba tsere A star to C. You would expect that cut-off point to go up. Or it's a tatakana that they would probably drop that. So there's nothing, the cut-off point their sponsor has nothing to do with the quality of education in this country.
So, what could be the problem with the quality of education? Because now we have disputed the issue of cut-off points.
Yeah, are lebelle yana pele kana gati bana ba feila. Yeah, ha rena bosupi ya gore bana ba feila. Ha o ka mputsanna. Ka gore yone kgang ya gore bana ba feila kana ba pasa under the current arrangement, assessment arrangement, ga e exist. Yeah, kore re be yana. Go ha re na le a range of grades, similar from A star to I think U which is ungraded. Bana ba ho ka twing ba fetse ke ba U. Baba A to C. Baba number e tse wang go calculate your pass rate. It's just a portion of the total number of students. Assessment ya rona is standards based. Ka mantswe a mangwe gatwe A star gore ngwana a ibone A star o tsantse gore a ba supile se. Ngwana yo tsang G a ba supile se. Ga go gore ngwana wa G yo o feitse. Gore ga dira jaaka
I meted the standard that has been set.
No, he has met the standards. It's a G.
Okay, it's a G. It's
A. So gore a re tsena ke a simple example.
Yeah.
Na le wena re itse go beta molao. Kana rothe ha re itse go beta molao. Me ha re ka se go bete ka go tshwana. O ta beta molao, mo ne ke ta beta molao. Go ngwa go bona mo nte jaja ba re nya mola mo gaisa wa me. Ga go raro wa me a se gore ke faitse. Go raro ga goela botoka. So the assessment ya gompieno ga ina pass fail. E assessa bokgoni ja ngwana e seng go palla ga gagwe. And this is what we fail to understand. Now ha go ta go grading re tsa A to C it's a re yola go te ke one pass. But remember ba ga gariba ga se re ba feitse. In other words, you expect a normal distribution curve in tsana ka ha go nne le ba ba dirileng bonte go gaisa ba bangwe ka go nna le bone ba you ga gare ha ke mo ka reng average students average students a gora gore ba face ba pasitse we ignore this average group re concentrate hela mo go ya A star to C that's not the whole picture and that is why ke re bana ba ga gore gore ba face na ke bona na le bosupi ya gore ba face ka re lebele just a small bit piece 1/3.
All right, now I'm trying to understand how, Professor, because now you've gotten deep. How to be? I'm trying to understand gore ga re bana ga ba feel mme ba le in the average ba la gare re tshwantse go re iri se selo se sentseng ja where is it that we are not getting it right, because you are saying ga se gore bana ba ba feitse ba re tsere the smaller portion ile gore ke ba ba same and we graded we painted the same brush ka bone ba botle le tlhokomolo ga ba ileng gore there. So what should be done?
No, I think what should be done is that Baba Libahaning Leon assessment, Babuzan examination council, whomever sounds about the Sichava. Mohozan let's in Hore. Lodichan Haisa Tolena, Quella, Runano, Hutina, you know, Utere a mute at also Izure a you hutuaing, a home piano or assess your cabo coni, Lotalhanaha as an individual. So more to talk about to allow us to grading system means ya. Kahore Obana one out in G kana F. Hona limu outside there. Let's say home a tertiary institution, kana an employer who will be interested in that student. I live in one corner. I just want to take an example ya beauty therapy, for example. I don't think a beauty therapist who train a program who would be looking for an A-star student. One of the Kana on a lower FUL. Will be one corner holika any givata Mutona libu minimum maker, G. Olosia, Wamuza. So has one no face.
I'm also interested in understanding where do we now strike the balance between the talent le bokgoni jwa bana ka gore ke dimela gore ya no re tsene mo bokgoning jwa ile gore ke jo gongwe re ka reng is God given o tsa ngwana ile gore kwa ji maybe they are not good in sciences but they can do as your example khanya ya beauty therapy. What should be changed in our education system, because that's how we grade and that's how we say bana ba feitse, not looking at bokgoni jwa bone re lebeletse gore ba paletswe ke ntse ile gore se ba betse eselo. How should we change this gore re kgone go accommodate everyone and maybe re change le dithuto gore re itse gore ba kgona se they're good at this. In fact, I look at a grade in A stars in this grade. You will A star in this category.
I think government is coming up with these multiple pathways. Mo lo gore ngwana ba simula la go tsa go gona simula tse technical and vocational subjects, mo ngata academic subjects. Ba tswa bantsiana me gona la ba ka kopanang teng along the way o gona go change go academic me ba gona go tsamaela all the way up to PhD. In that way, he will be able to accommodate all the ability range. Yellow ite mobane ya karibu humpiana.
Right. Ka tle mahatsa tshwana jalo le bo Korea le bo China go sujwa jalo go te thuto ya bone ke ne leng gore botsi ba sebaka e rotwetsa tsone dithuto tse leng gore gongwe rona bontsi ba sebaka especially ma Africa ga ra e tlotla yone ya diatla ka tselentse jalo go mo ka re thusa jang to adopt the method ya mahatsa mangwe leng gore they have progressed in their education sector.
No, I think lip service has been paid to technical and vocational education for a very long time in this country. A lot of talk about that, but but I see, you know, government, they look very determined to push that. So we can invest more on technical and vocational education, modernize it. Right? When actually only fuel injection so we can invest, and we should invest seriously in TVET. And I'm very happy that I think government is giving attention to that, because there's something like a TVET authority that is going to be formed. We should focus on improving technical and vocational education.
But on the same breath, why are Botswana classrooms still dominated by outdated teacher-centered methods despite years of education reforms?
Yeah, that's a question that may take us a whole day to to answer, but it's a very interesting question because there are so many issues involved. One of them, of course, you know, you need resources. Different resources. And as far as research has shown, and even my own research has demonstrated, it has got to do with the whole environment in which teachers find themselves working. So sometimes they know nothing else other than regarding teacher-centered. That's what they know, and this is how they were trained. This is what they experienced as students. And even their training did not challenge that form of teaching. So straight they go into the schools, and that's what they understand with teaching. But unfortunately, when they get to the schools, the ambience, the whole environment they school, they encourage that kind of teaching. So changing therefore from these outmoded ways of teaching to new ways becomes extremely difficult. Yeah.
Right. In Botswana, curriculums preparing students for real world. Is our curriculum preparing these students for the real world? Or are we still stuck in the outdated system?
No, I think we've tried to modernize our curriculum, but unfortunately that has not worked. The objectives-based curriculum, which was implemented, I think that was 2000, and the NNORI was just about to be phased out starting last year. Outcome-based education. Yeah. I've always maintained it was a disaster. An outcome-based education was a disaster. It's a good thing that is going. It was a disaster. And we can demonstrate for the objectives-based curriculum. Because what happened was that syllabus objectives. Cover out on objectives, how's that topic? In terms of objectives. You are selecting from that topic what you think is worthwhile. But the process of selection obviously involves a process of exclusion. There's something so included. How select? What is it that you are leaving out, which is not critical for a student's holistic appreciation of a topic? So, curriculum we have fragmented pieces of information. Now, that talks to the quality of education. Me an overall understanding of a topic, unlike in the past, when topic in a Thailand at Sharaba, Alibakana topic. As I told it, the tendency was for teachers to be as comprehensive as possible in the coverage of that topic.
And allow creativity,
and the benefit of that, the student will leave school with knowledge, at least they don't worry. Is more holistic.
Most definitely. We are running out of time, unfortunately. We've got 5 minutes to wrap up this conversation, but I had a lot to ask about this because it's a very critical topic. Maybe let's get to the examination system. Does the current exam system measure intelligence, or is it setting students for failure?
No, in actual fact, to the contrary. I think our examination system has improved.
All right.
Since the coming into being of the Botswana Examinations Council, its mandate has changed. In the past, examinations used to measure just knowledge with understanding. But the mandate was expanded, in Nati, to include the assessment of skills. Skills like what creativity, what problem solving, and so forth. If you go to the records, to the reports, back, mode examining, you'll find Bana are doing very well. More knowledge and understanding, factual information. But consistently perform poorly in the area of problem solving. And that is where the grades are. What does this tell you? It tells you something in the schools is not taking place. Maybe there is no teaching your problem solving. And I have no doubt that teaching your problem solving. So consistently students will not perform until we address that problem.
All right, now we are running out of time. So is the government sponsorship model deepening inequality in education by only rewarding top performers? Because we're seeing it on a yearly basis. Top performers are those that are only being recognized. But earlier on you mentioned that not only those ones by we deem them as top achievers by they are good. There are also good students in those whom we deem as average.
Well, I think there will always be a form of discrimination. Not necessarily negative discrimination. Government can sponsor so many students depending on the size of its budget. They can only afford to sponsor 10,000 students. They will tend to sponsor 10,000 students. So what this means is that Baba Nweba, they can't sponsor them, let's say when we go investing. They should be able to go elsewhere. And this is where TVET comes in. Or even really expanding your tertiary education. To accommodate more students. Because it should be expanded. If the demand is there, so, consideration should be given to expanding it.
We're clean out of time now. In 60 seconds, what is the one radical change Botswana must make today to fix its education system? Because we've been talking about all these loopholes.
No, not to me. Like I said, I'm happy that things are changing. There is the STEAM education that government is talking about. I think it's yet to be expanded, to be explained to Botswana. But to me, it's important in that it is giving us an opportunity to take another look at our curriculum. Because I believe the biggest problem that we have is really our curriculum. If we can fix our curriculum, and we should be able to fix our curriculum, because there's no problem, in my view, that is insurmountable. We should be able to fix that. So I think this is an opportunity for us to look at our curriculum, and more importantly, to make sure that there is alignment between what students are taught and how they are taught it. Because how you teach is what is responsible for the inculcation of the skills that are deemed important in the world of work. Problem solving is not you are not going to teach students problem solving. What problem solving? Students must experience problem solving. And that is how they develop that skill. Students must experience teamwork that talks to the teaching methods.
I wish we had time to expound much on this issue. Unfortunately, we have to go to the 3 o'clock news. Professor, thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you so much. I wish you could have more time to discuss this.
Most definitely. And that is how we come to the end of the conversation. I had in studio with me Professor Richard Tabulawa, Acting Deputy Vice Chancellor, Teaching and Learning at the University of Botswana. We're talking about causes of decline and explore solutions from reforming teachable approaches and how Botswana can break the cycle and improve students' success. And that is how we come to the end of this conversation.